so today we'll be looking at the COUNTIF function. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain the COUNTIF function. You should be able to differentiate between count and COUNTIF. You should be able to understand what a criterion, that is a condition, is. You should be able to write the correct COUNTIF syntax. You should be able to count texts and numbers based on specific conditions. You should be able to apply COUNTIF to real-life data analysis. The COUNTIF function counts the number of cells in a range that meets a specified criterion. So COUNTIF tells Excel, look through these cells and count only the ones that match the rule I gave you. It means you give Excel a certain rule, and then Excel will now go and look at the COUNTIF function and your condition and see, we will now be checking it line by line. Did this one meet the condition? If it meets the condition, Excel counts it. If it doesn't meet the condition, Excel does not count it. So unlike the count function, which counts all numeric cells, COUNTIF only counts only the cells that satisfy a particular condition. For example, for a data containing male and female, COUNTIF can be used to count the males in that data. Count versus COUNTIF. Count function counts numeric cells, while COUNTIF function counts cells that meet a condition. Count function does not require a criteria, while COUNTIF function uses criteria. Count function counts every number, while COUNTIF function counts only matching records. Count function does simple counting, while COUNTIF function does conditional counting. So for example, count function counts all numbers in a range, while COUNTIF function counts only the numbers, text, or records that meet a specified condition. So count answers the questions, how many values are there? So count deals with only numbers and values, but COUNTIF function answers the questions, how many value match this rule. Right. So understanding what criteria is. So a criteria is the plural form for criterion. So criterion is the singular, while criteria is the plural. Now, what does it mean? It is the rule or condition that tells Excel what to count. So that's when you are writing your formula. The part of the criteria is where you used to tell Excel that this is what I want you to count. So think of it as an instruction you give to Excel without a criterion. Without a criterion, Excel does not know which cells to count. So imagine you tell someone, count only the students who are female. So the phrase female there is the criterion. The phrase female there is the criterion. That is the criterion. So, because it tells the person exactly what you want them to count. So COUNTIF works in the same way. You tell Excel what to look for, and Excel counts only the cells that match that instruction. What are examples of criteria? A criteria can be a text, it can be a number, and it can be a comparison. So it can be female, it can be food, it can be greater than 50, it can be less than 100, it can be any of this. But the most important is when you are writing a criterion, make sure you put in your column, your quotation mark rather, your quotation mark has to be there. So what's the syntax of the COUNTIF function? Every Excel function has a structure called syntax. So the syntax of the COUNTIF function is equals to COUNTIF, range, and then criteria. So what this means is that the equals to tells Excel that this is a function, the COUNTIF there is the function name. So the range and the criteria are the two arguments that we have. So the range tells Excel which cells to examine, while the criteria tells Excel the condition that you should look for. Let's understand the syntax. Let's assume we have equals to COUNTIF, B2 to B11 and female. The equals to tells Excel that you are entering a formula. COUNTIF is the function name, B2 to B11 is the cell range, and female is the condition. So what you are telling Excel to do with this formula now is that Excel should return for you every female that are between B2, cell B2 and B11. So you should count the number of females and return the value for you. How does COUNTIF function works? So when you press enter, Excel performs 4 simple steps. The first one is that it looks through the specified range, and the next is that it checks each cell one by one. Then the next is that it compares each cell with the criterion. Then now counts every cell that matches the criterion and returns the total. So Excel is simply asking, does this cell match the criterion? If yes, increase the count. If no, move to the next cell. It repeats this process until it reaches the last cell in the range, and then it displays the answer to you. So why COUNTIF function is important? The COUNTIF function saves time and improves accuracy. When working with large data sets, instead of counting records manually, Excel can count them in seconds. COUNTIF is commonly used to do what? Number one, to count male or female employees, to count products in each category, to count customers from a particular city, to count students who passed or failed, to count sales above a target, to count transactions that meet specified conditions. So COUNTIF helps analysts answer questions about their data quickly, accurately, and automatically, making it an essential tool for data analysis. What are the common errors you can encounter when using COUNTIF? Although COUNTIF is easy to use, beginners often make mistakes. Forgetting quotation marks, that's one error. So writing COUNTIF, this instead of you writing it with quotation mark on female. So if you do not put the quotation mark, it will not work. All right. So another one is selecting the wrong range. Yes, you might end up selecting the range where you do not need. If what you need is B2 to B10, then select B2 to B10. So typing the wrong criterion. Yes, when you are typing the criterion, you might type female instead of female. So messing up a letter will make Excel not to operate well, because it will count, it will, instead of looking for female, to look for female, which it might not find any. And then using the wrong comparison operator. So for example, greater than 50 means greater than 50, greater than equals to 50 means greater than or equals to 50. So it means if your mind now you want 50 to be part of it, it means you are going to use either greater than 49 or greater than or equals to 50. So slight mistakes like that can affect your calculation in the COUNTIF.
I mean, we're having males and female. So now we want to know the number of females that are there. So we can use the COUNTIF function. So you move COUNTIF, then you pick the cell range. That's the first thing. Pick the cell range. Abi. Then comma. What's the criteria? So if it is what? Female. And then you enter. So that means we have 10 females in this part.
So then the criteria will have the quotation, then let's say greater than equals to 50. You close it, and then you close it, and then you have this.